Club or pub, you need to stand out. Hey forum, Manny back here with another video on the CascadeScents fragrance station, and this one is on my top 5 club fragrances. Now before I dive into the nitty gritty of the club fragrances here, I kind of just want to announce something. I've been noticing a lot of frequently asked questions that I think would be really cool to have answered on camera, so I want to do this Q&A series for every season. The questions that you can ask me don't have to necessarily be seasonal related, they can be about anything actually. So if you have any burning questions whatsoever, let me know in the comment section below, and I'll try my best to equally answer both fragrance related and non-fragrance related questions. So with that out of the way with, let's get into these club fragrances. Now in my personal opinion, a good club fragrance has to have these 3 attributes. Number 1, it has to have more than capable performance. I personally like to call my club fragrances my all-nighter fragrances, and that's because when you're out and about all night, you want your fragrance to last through anything and everything. You want to be in the moment when you're out there, and you don't want to potentially worry about respraying whatsoever. I've been there, you've been there, and I'm pretty sure that's annoying for all of us. So I can't emphasize enough, for the club circumstance, your fragrance definitely has to perform. The number 2 attribute for club fragrance is that it definitely has to be unique. Not necessarily a unique or challenging blend or composition, but a blend that is definitely unique in comparison to what everyone else is wearing. You don't want to potentially be out here reminding someone else of an ex-significant other. Just saying. At the number 3 criteria here, it definitely has to be pleasant, preferably in a welcoming and sexy way. You're not at a club or pub to post up by the bar with a mean mug like a thug the whole time. You're here to be social and have a good time, so you may as well make killer first impressions while you're at it. Not only does it start with your charm and aesthetic, but your scent can take you a long way too. But keep in mind though, your scent will only take you as far as you let it. If it's positive feedback that you desire, first and foremost, it starts with being a positive person. But I think that's about it for the prologue, so we might as well get on with it, starting off with my number 5. Here's Man Caravan by Thierry Mugler. Now I personally didn't think that I could do this list without Man or one of its great flankers, so I thought might as well pick the greatest, in my personal opinion, Caravan. This stuff opens up with a cherry honey tobacco vibe which isn't harsh whatsoever. It's done in a super warm and welcoming way that's slightly intoxicating actually, and even a few hours in it stays delectable with some of its gourmand notes into that Man patchouli base. And overall I think that this, or just about any warm honey tobacco composition, is just a really safe bet for nights out at the club or pub. But this right here is the one honey tobacco scent that I've had the best memories with, and I will continue to have the best memories with. And I think the results speak for themselves, for me at least, because this stuff continues to make my most complimented lists. Take that as you will, but again, results will vary for everyone. But for me, again, you know that this stuff has worked wonders around my circle, so that's why it's on this list at number 5, Man Caravan. On to my number 4 club fragrance now. Here's Golden Boy by Dueto Parfums. Off the bat, I can't help but say this, but it's definitely reminiscent of Tuscan Leather by Tom Ford. But here, Dueto drops that raspberry note and amplifies a harsher kind of leather. As a result, you have a black leather jacket kind of vibe here, which I actually prefer. It has this undeniable masculine bravado that I think is pretty unique, and seemingly other people's do too. Like, some people in real life can't help but want to get a second whiff of this, so I'd say it's definitely a positive conversation starter. But little do these fragrance casuals know that this is actually a clone of a very popular fragrance amongst luxury goods and fragrance lovers alike. But also to note, in 2017, this stuff definitely outperforms its predecessor, just performance-wise almost unparalleled in contrast to the rest of my personal fragrance wardrobe. That's why it's on my list here at number 4. It's Golden Boy by Dueto Parfums. Now moving on to my number 3 club fragrance, here's Bernardo Delay by Hermes. And just like Man Caravan, Bernardo Delay channels a very similar warm honey vibe here, but rather than it being done with that sweet tobacco, it's actually done with some more gourmandy elements, stuff like caramel and vanilla and even benzoin for an added intoxicating sweet effect. Add in a little bit of cinnamon spice and you have a gourmand lover's dream here. Now believe it or not, I only picked this fragrance up recently, and oh my gosh, it's just one of those fragrances that I've been wearing that will elicit head turns wherever and whenever I've been wearing it. And I can say undoubtedly with confidence that this is definitely a feedback all-star in the short time that I've owned it. So I can't wait to get more wears out of this at the clubs. Again, it's Bernardo Delay by Hermes at number 3. P.S. though, Audition by Parfums de Marly is an equally good clone. Just had to throw that in there. Winding down now, we're at number 2. Here's Aventus by Creed. Now this just might be the most cop-out answer of all time. But here you have that undeniably unique smoky pineapple with some masculine musk. I'm pretty sure that most fragrance heads know this already about Aventus. That and the fact that it's also a feedback and versatility all-star. But regarding that versatility, I think that Aventus is actually an overlooked choice for fragrance heads when they want to wear something unique to the clubs. Think about it, Aventus doesn't really smell like the most mainstream of choices that are commonly worn, but it will still project amongst the best of them, at least in my experience, even in denser denser environments like the clubs. Like my most fleeting batch here will even do that. So yeah, not much more else to say here about Aventus. I think I've said it and the whole FRAGCOM has said it already. It's just that good, and I think it's honestly that good for the clubs, so that's why it's my number 2. Again, Aventus by Creed. And now finally moving on to my number 1 club fragrance, and I've yet to talk about this one that much on my channel, but here it is. Ultra Male by Jean-Paul Gaultier. Now you may be wondering too, is Ultra Male worth checking out if you're already a fervent user of Le Male? And I can honestly quickly say yes to that. You have a brighter opening with a pair here which is super long lasting, and even in a denser environment like the clubs, maybe it's my skin chemistry, but I'll get whiffs of that sweet note like 2 to 3 hours in. That and the other common notes that are reminiscent of the OG Le Male formula. You know, Mr. Francis Kirkjohn himself really loves his aromatic and gourmandy elements. But I also honestly say that dude really blended it well here. Like in my personal opinion, I think right now this is definitely my favorite of the current Le Male line. Like maybe OG Le Male back in the day was really cool, but the current formulation being neutered, not so much. That and it's too familiar of a scent of the clubs that I've been to or are currently going to. So overall, I think Ultra Male is a smarter choice for me and potentially you too. I just think that it just comes down to your skin chemistry and if you really like that long-lasting pair opening. So that's why it's my number 1 club fragrance. It's the brighter, the more modern Ultra Male by Jean-Paul Gaultier. So we definitely have a winner here in Ultra Male. If you haven't checked this out yet or the others, please do so wherever is convenient for you. Again, with this list, I can't emphasize enough that the feedback that I'm talking about here are from my results alone. So keep in mind, your results will vary based on your perception, as well as personal preference, skin chemistry, conditions, and feedback. So with that out of the way, please tell me what you think of my picks and analysis in the comments below. And please tell me about the club fragrances that you're already wearing. I'd love to know too. And if you enjoyed this video and want more, please subscribe already if you haven't yet, as well as thumbs up. So now I think that officially does it for my top 5 club fragrances. Thank you as always for your time and continued support. Take care, peace out, bye. Wear your fragrances.